During April, May and June of 2020, I noticed a small scaly scab on my forehead and decided to make an appointment to see my local doctor at the QMC medical practice. The doctor examined it on the 12th of June and immediately suspected that it was a basal cell carcinoma, which they call BCC. He said that he would try to get a hospital appointment as soon as possible. I soon received a letter with an appointment at the Nottingham NHS Treatment Centre for the 17th of June 2020. Because of the COVID pandemic, there were strict safety guidelines in place. A biopsy sample was taken under local anaesthetic, and I was advised that they would telephone with the results at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, 5th of August. A nurse phoned at the appointed time and explained that I had got a basal cell carcinoma, which is a low-grade type of skin cancer, and it would require further treatment. She explained that there were two options: radiotherapy or incision, which is an operation. She explained both options to me with the percentage success rates, and I decided that the incision described as surgery was my selected option. There was further explanation that when the operation was done, the wound could be dealt with in one of two ways. One would be a skin graft, with the skin being taken from my collarbone region. The other would be that they would leave a hole which would heal up naturally, but would need constant dressing of the wound, which would be done by the nurses at QMC medical practice. I was advised that the surgeon performing the operation would decide which option would be adopted based on how the operation went. I said that I would be happy to go along with the surgeon's decision. They sent a follow-up letter confirming the advice and my decision, and informing me that the follow-up treatment would take place in about 4 to 6 weeks. On the 17th of August, I received a letter from the NHS Treatment Centre at Nottingham Queen's Medical Centre to inform me that the surgery would take place under local anaesthetic on Monday 21st of September. I was advised not to drive after the operation. I attended the treatment centre at the appointed time, and a nurse, who told me that she was taking care of me during the procedure, took me into a room where the operation was to be carried out. She introduced me to the surgeon, and the local anaesthetic was applied, a rather painful procedure with a few needles being used. As the surgeon was hovering over me with the knife, he asked me if I wanted a skin graft or a hole. This surprised me because I had been told that the surgeon would make that decision, so I asked his advice. He carefully explained the options, but still indicated that it was my decision, so I decided that I wanted the hole, which would heal more naturally. So there was I, requesting a hole in the head. At that point, the nurse who was looking after me explained that the hole would take a long time to heal, and that I may be going to the nurses for as long as 5 months. From her manner, I assumed that she thought the skin graft option was best. I still stuck with my original decision, with the proviso that the surgeon would make a decision based on how the operation went. The operation appeared to go all right, and it was stitched, but not with dissolving stitches. When the operation was finished, a dressing was applied. The nurse escorted me out of the room and sat with me for a few minutes. I was given a document directing me to make an appointment with a nurse at QMC medical practice for the dressing to be redone 3 days later, and for the stitching to be removed 14 days later. I was also advised to take 2 paracetamol tablets at intervals of every 4 hours. My granddaughter drove my wife and myself home, and I felt fine for a while. In the evening, I felt some discomfort, so started taking the tablets as advised, and continued for 3 days. There was a lot of pain, but not too bad. I did have a lot of bleeding and transparent stuff leaking out of the dressing, and this continued for more than 2 weeks. My wife developed a system of double pillar slips and some cloth so that the actual pillars were not soiled. As instructed, I made appointments with the nurses at Keyworth Medical Practice for Monday, Wednesday and Friday of the following week. At the first appointment, the nurse told me that the hole was about 2 centimetres in diameter and that they would have to administer treatment to ensure that the wound did not dry out too quickly or a skull fracture could develop. She immediately changed the appointments to every day. As the weekend approached, the nurses decided that I should attend an NHS emergency treatment centre at West Bridgford, about 4 miles away, for my dressings to be changed. Again, the attitude of the nurses that treated me there was first class. I found that the Rushcliffe Area Weekend Emergency Centre is manned by staff from the health centres in Rushcliffe area. In fact, I bumped into my local doctor who was doing his duty at the venue on one occasion. Here are a couple of video clips showing what the wound looked like. The first is 21 days after the operation and the second is 35 days after. If you're feeling squeamish, don't look because it's not a pretty sight. This is what the wound looked like on the 11th of October, 21 days after the operation. And this is what it looked like on the 24th of October, 34 days after the operation. Here is a video clip before my last appointment with the nurse and doctor. It is the 13th of November today, and I'm hoping that the nurse will say I don't need to have another dressing on when I go to see her this morning. Finally, on Friday 13th of November, my doctor and nurse agreed that I need not have the wound dressed anymore because it was coming along fine. I cannot speak highly enough of the treatment that I received from the nurses and doctor. They were brilliant, showing genuine concern that I got the best treatment. It was a bit of a performance having to go every day, but as I am 81 years of age and restricted by COVID regulations, I could not do much else with my time. Good news, on the 13th of November, the doctor and the nurse have examined me and said that I don't need to continue having the dressings applied. I have to apply a little Vaseline and something called Cavilon. It's on cotton bud sticks to the wound each day to aid recovery, so hope that it goes well. As you will see from the video, I will never win any prizes for good looks, but I am grateful for the treatment that I have received. In conclusion, I am not stating that other people should do exactly as I did, but that it worked for me. My doctor said that different people react in different ways to treatment, so there are no set rules.